G'day and welcome to the Making It With Myles podcast. We have two formats of the podcast: The Shed, which is where we talk about all things related to building and construction, as well as the real estate industry through the lens of a building inspector. And we also have The Journey. The Journey is more a bit of a personal development thing every now and then that we dabble in just to sort of get people better, make things better, make the world better, because that's obviously how it operates. Now, on this episode of The Shed, we are speaking to David Baker, who is the founder, owner of RapidQS, Rapid Quantity Surveying. These guys in particular provide cost estimates based on your drawings or construction projects, renovations, alterations, things like that. Very handy tool if you are within the industry itself and kind of sick of estimating. He goes into depth about the processes that's involved with the actual product itself and talks about his background, his stories, the industry that we have over here at the moment, the key issues that he finds, how AI is integrating into the industry itself, and more or less the importance of like trades staying and sticking within the industry itself based on this AI backend coming through, you know. So it was a good conversation with David, and we hope you enjoy it. Here it is. All right, so who is David Baker? So give us a bit of a rundown, a backstory of sort of what led you to kicking off where you started and kicking off RapidQS.
Yeah, cool, man. Dude, honestly, I feel like I've kind of gone through life and I've never excelled like extraordinary at anything. Like at school, I was always very like middle of the pack, never like second 15 rugby, would play like the top six tennis team, but I was only like number 3 or 4, never got to number 1, never got like amazing fucking grades, never like dated the hottest girls or like whatever you want to say. But I think I've always just had like a real go-getter attitude. So go-getter attitude, and I'll just put in extreme volume. Like I don't really like to study too much. I kind of just like to find something, throw shit against a wall, like 5 walls, and then just whatever sticks, I'll just hone in and double down on that. So school was interesting, middle of the pack, probably like a 70% kind of player. Left school, did like the apprenticeship thing, was still playing heaps of tennis. Apprenticeship was cool. Once again, never really like super excelled there. And then I found myself like really excelling like on our first kind of business opportunity that I got into with a mate in Queenstown, building like commercial precast panels for Dominion. But like first gig to go into commercial construction was horrible, like strict deadlines, cutthroat as fuck, no relationship building. Like they don't care who you are. They're just like, when can you get these 10 panels done by? How
I used
fast?
to be a commercial site manager.
Yeah.
I know what it's like being I can't.
It's ruthless, bro, but your job is to not necessarily
done.
fuck all the subbies, but it's like, if you don't do it, we'll just get someone else that can do it. So anyway, man, we pretty much spent 2 years there. We built like 150 panels for Dominion, and the amount of like 18 to 20 hour shifts we did was insane. And when they think like health and safety is a big thing, and you're out there at 2 a.m. getting a panel pour ready for 5:30 a.m. because they have to get like back a house up the next day, it's like, yeah, there's no relationship in that. So that was fun. And then we got pretty screwed on that deal. They like kind of manipulated us into a fixed price to do panels. We probably got 10% into the contract, and we were like, shit, man, we're not getting out of this. Tried to get out, and they were like, nah, you need to do it. So we just walked away. Me and a mate split. He took all the vehicles. I think he took all the gear, and he took all the gear and took on the debt, and I walked away with nothing. So I was okay. Yeah, it was sweet. Yeah, and then went back into residential construction. That was always like my background. Queenstown was booming at that time. That's when like everything was going off. So I just hit up all the hotels. I didn't want any more big contracts. Just went around all the hotels, all the builders. 30% of my business was like renovating old bathrooms. 70% of my business was getting like backpacker guys from like England or Aussie, like guys that were coming down with building experience onto building sites. So like recruitment style model, easy business, low risk, weekly payment model. But I had no knowledge of like invoicing, payments, contracts, how to deal with people. I just like watched a few fucking sales videos on YouTube. Sweet, bro. I just got to make 50, 60 calls a day and I'll win one job. So that was
that's what we do, mate. We just watch YouTube videos and start doing shit.
Yeah. So that was
what happens.
That was my theory, bro. And then and then when I was like, okay, cool, I made 20 calls today and got 1 win. I was like, sweet, well, tomorrow I'll make 40 and then I'll get 2. So my job, pretty much what I was doing for 2 years was just getting builders on building sites. And then I was selling bathroom renovations to hotels and stuff. And yeah, fast forward probably 4 years, Baker's Bills was doing pretty well. Like I went well. I took 1 bag contract for a site manager again, like high volume commercial building company, 20 houses. Got really screwed by them, lost 110K. Like by the time I took loans out, paid it back, it was like 140, 150. And I owed the tax man like 80. So it was pretty bad.
Tax man either way. always comes up.
It was a cunt, yeah, man. Anyway, 2 years back on the drawing board, so I would have been 26 then. Grinded out the residential building company in Auckland. Did pretty well, man. Made like $250K in 18 months, just selling $50,000 renos, $10,000 jobs, back to the basics. Ended up paying off all the debt, got back to zero. That was the best feeling of my life, man. Paying that last $10,000 payment to IRD was like, fuck, this feels amazing, man.
Yeah, weight off your shoulders.
It was like, I didn't even go buy a fancy car, bro. I still had my lease Colorado. I was just like, man, this feels so good. Like, no debt. It was like, I can pack up today and done. You know what I mean? So it was like a long 6 to 7 years. Like, got into a good contract. We were making, we were billing out good money, lost heaps, went back down, kind of went back up again, took another contract, lost a shitload of money, 4 years on the grind, got back to zero. I was like, phew. Pre-COVID. And then, I'd started like, I had just priced so many jobs. Like, I mean, I could talk about it for an hour on that experience, but over 5 years, I'd been pricing 20 to 30 jobs a week, like maintenance, rotten weatherboards, kitchen renos, bathroom renos, little extensions. So I felt like I had a good skill set. During COVID was just like pricing at home for other builders and pricing for my building company as well. I had somewhat of a business partner at the time, was really good, really, really good at what he did. He just didn't want to take the risk of not having a salary. He just taken on like his beautiful partner. They just had a child, mortgage, so he needed the salary. And I said, man, if you can have 70% of the building business, I just want to do pricing. And then during COVID, took like a little social media course, started showcasing a bit of how I do my pricing and ripping together like shitty ass splice videos on my phone. And then just did that. Volume game again. Would just make a video, price a job, make a video, put it on Instagram, send it out to 50 to 60 builders on Instagram until I got a 24-hour block for too much spam, and then go back the next day, do it again. Did that for 3 months, and then RapidQS was kind of born maybe in the 4th month where it was going well. Like, I just slowly transitioned out of Baker's Builds into RapidQS, and then once I was pricing 1 job a day, I just said to Nick, hey man, I need to go all in on the RapidQS stuff. It's really like, I'm enjoying it. And he was like, all good. I totally understand. Do what you can do. And I kind of voluntarily liquidated Baker's Builds, which he was a part of, and then he set up his own company. But I just, I gave him all my pricing time for the first 6 months kind of thing. So it was cool. It was, not going to lie, I did actually cry the day I shut down Baker's Builds, like liquidated. It was kind of like, I felt like it was like a part of me.
Oh, you do. That's the thing. Yeah. That's what people don't understand, especially when you're building a business. No matter what it is, it's your baby. Because you were there at the start, you got the domain, that's where it all begins. Yeah, man. And you go through all this struggle and pain and shit and tax man and getting fucked and not getting fucked and making some money and losing money. Yeah. And you get to a certain point where you're like, because it is what you do every single day. I know, it becomes more of your identity than staying home. And I think I was just so proud because in our industry, I was so proud of myself for like voluntary liquidating, not owing the taxman any money, like that to me, and leaving with like 106 Google reviews. That to me, those two things for me was like, I couldn't put a price tag on those. Like every time I see a stuff article now of some dodgy fucker, owes IRD $1 million, closed up his business, gone. I'm like, you fucking scumbag. Yeah. I could have bought a fucking Ferrari and gone on a holiday and owed IRD $200,000. Nah, man, I just couldn't walk around the street with that kind of. Sounds like you got some good ethics behind you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope. And if someone's out there saying,
good will come.
Yeah, bro, I'm a big karma guy. So yeah.
I can understand that completely.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
So with RapidQS itself, how did it all? So did it start just from a spreadsheet, or did you start building a platform from the back end of that? Like, is that how that's how the company and idea started, just from you doing pricing? Yeah, man. For other people.
I purchased one QS report for a labor only townhouse contract in the mid of Baker's Builds, and I paid like $1,800 for this piece of paper, and it was like 30 pages long, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't simple for a builder. Like I'm not a super smart guy. I've never excelled in anything outrageous, and I was like, this just doesn't work out. Like, where's the site set up? Like, where's builder standing frames? Where's like pinging out lines on a slab to stand your frames? And I was like, this can be done way better. So I just treated the spreadsheet for RapidQS as a storytelling aspect for a builder.
100%.
What's the first thing a builder does? They have a site meeting, they discuss with the client, cool, site time admin, 4 hours at $85.
Yep.
First day you get on site with the boys, tools, demolition's always the first thing. So start off with our demolition components.
Yep.
Remove window, remove cladding, all the components, and then what are you doing at the end of demo? Doing a clean up, site tidy, rubbish into skip bin. So just wanted to storytell it, and I just thought it could be simplified apart from 34-page PDF to a 2-page PDF and just give the raw data.
Man, that's fucking sweet.
Yeah, and I felt like people were like, "Oh, you've fucking done it so well. You reinvented the wheel." I was like, "Nah, man. I felt like I've just stripped away a heap of shit."
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah,
because I run just an Excel spreadsheet, and it's a spreadsheet that's been around for many years and kind of gone across many builders.
Yeah.
And a company that I work for, they implemented it, and I used it. I'm like, this is fucking great. It had heaps of other bullshit functions which I was never going to use.
Yeah.
But the basic and the crust of it was fantastic because that's how it was sort of set out. Like, but obviously all your prelims and bits and things like that.
There's way more. Yeah.
And then it goes through just the construction processes, like the structure itself. Then it goes to like the lockup stages, then fix and all that sort of stuff. Which is as you go through the estimate, and then you go back through the estimate. Yeah. You sort of run yourself through a bit of a story and like, oh, hang on a minute, I'm gonna get fucked here. There's no allowance for between Windows installation, lockup. Who's gonna do all the caulking around the window? Yeah, like shit like this. There's all these little things that sort of fill the gaps, and that's how you can you do that multiple times. That's how you lose money on jobs. Yeah, because you miss the little bits and pieces. Yeah, or you just I know you don't think it's a big deal until there's multiple couple of few $100 here and there, and all of a sudden your $100,000 project is actually more like 110. Yeah. And then you got to wear it, which isn't what business is about. Yeah. You're meant to make money.
I just used it. It was such a good back costing tool because you could literally at the end of demolition, say it was 18 hours, you could go through the spreadsheet at the end of the day and you'd get photos off the boys in the WhatsApp while you're running the business. And you go, oh yeah, sweet. They're all done. Cool. It took them 16 and a half hours. I'd allowed 18. Sweet. I made 2.5 hours at $80 plus the margin on labor. So I just thought it was a multi-purpose sheet. Yeah. And then you could close up all the costing items, send it off to the client. Hey, this is the exact scope. Anything outside this labor component is extra time.
That's another really good component too, depending on what contract you got in place.
For sure.
If you've got like for here, we have two types of payment systems. So if you do like the method B, which is you sort of make up what stages it's at, like it might say demo stage, and then there's a certain percentage based on it. So as much as you hit that target, you go, right, all here, boom, payment done, let's go. And then just keep rolling and run through the processes. But I think what's really good about it is because you can go back and actually track through the costings, put the actual costs in, you can start cash flow forecast your job. Yeah. Because there's a lot of times, especially when it's staged payments, you'll be doing work up to a certain stage and there's not money coming in yet. So you can forecast, all right, I'm going to be up for like $20,000 worth of bills. Yeah. And then all right, I need an extra 10, 15 grand before that extra 150 comes in to keep funneling you through. Yeah. Well, that's what I learned personally in for the bad reasons because you get to a certain point, you're like, yeah, I'm fucking super rich. And then all of a sudden you get all these bills and like the next stage is so far away and you're like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And then that's when you sort of can understand how important cash flow is. Oh, man. Builders are sick at building. Yeah. But when it comes to actually managing the financials of a job is super critical because if you fuck that up, that is what can ruin the business. Yeah, you might be the best chippy, the best builder, know everything, but if you don't know how to operate and run the business and the cash flow of that, as well as the estimate,
it's so deadly.
It's killer, man. Absolute killer.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we've just tried to position ourselves as like a strong arm for builders to be like, no matter what size job you get, we can make sure that we're giving you accurate estimates. And we're not always bang on 100%, but we're always just trying to get 75 to 85% within that estimate. And then when you're ready, your clients accepted a ballpark figure, we can go through and help you tailor it, tweak it right to a fixed price, So, yeah.
So RapidQS, we pretty much sign up. You price the jobs, we send you the plans. Yeah. Apparently it's that easy. Yeah. More or less. I just want you to explain just the walkthrough process of what working with RapidQS is like.
I think our target market would be a busy builder that is looking to scale. So for us, any builder that's like running ads and getting a shitload of leads, those are the kind of guys that we want to work with, or guys that are coming off like labor onlys or small maintenance jobs and they've been asked to price their big reno. So pretty much what we request is two sides. If you're a small builder and you don't have plans, I mean, shit, man, I've still got a guy in Christchurch who just sends me an A4, old and existing, and then he'll be like, put a scope of works for like a bathroom or an extension and then attach photos. I'm like, boom, fucking oath. But I'm eliminating my competition because university grads wouldn't be able to figure that out. No. But I know all the assumptions, you know what I mean? And I know he's just using this as a ballpark tender to get to his client. And when they're like humming and hurrying, yeah, cool, around about 40 to 60K, I'm good to go ahead. Then we'll do a site visit and do measurements and get plans and do once he's done the buyer's commitment fee. Yeah. So we'll price off limited information, but I try and keep it so everyone at RapidQS has either got hands-on, been on the tools experience, or they've run their own building company. I'm not really interested at the moment in ex-university grads, purely because if I need one of the boys to ring up a builder and discuss shit, I want good terminology, and I want to have that like level of builder to builder banter. I don't want it to be like university grad to builder thing. Do you know what I mean?
It's a complete different space.
Absolutely,
100%.
man.
And the thing that I like about it too is that because the plans that we get these days, especially depending on how much you're paying for plans, permits, and drawings and shit, if you're on a bit of a lower budget or a bottom end, it's just a couple of lines on the page. So there's a lot of things that are unknown. And if you're in the industry and you've read plans and you understand it time and time again, and especially if you've gone through the actual process of building it out, you can look at the plans and go, all right, this means fucking nothing to me. What is this box? Or this is going to be an issue. Or understanding the components in regards to, say it's like a feature wall finish or something like that, and you got a bit more, there's a lot more labor component associated with it, or how the substrate's built out and all those types of things. You really need that construction background. And I think having a team like that on board just helps give more accuracy in regards to what you're actually doing.
And so to try and answer the rest is probably, and then the other side of the story will be, you know, the guys that are busy and they're doing maybe 2 to 5 million a year in revenue, and they're getting sets of plans from their architects, and they just want to know, like, hey, David, you know, we use you to send out 2 to 3 tenders a month from your process. We know that before we go to a fixed price contract, we just need to get a high level costing back, that we can go get the buyer's commitment fee off them, $2,500 or whatever it is. And then they've got all the line items there. So our labor might not be 100% bang on, but I'm not expected to know your business as well as you know yours. So we might say, hey, it's going to be anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 labor hours. They might go, oh, fuck, my top crew's tied up on this other job. I'm going to have to use contractors or this other crew. They might be a little bit slower. We'll bump it up to 1,400 hours. Or shit, man, my main painter who he guarantees me 45 to 55 bucks a square. He's out. I'm going to have to use someone else. He's expensive. We're going to have to bump your painting rate up to 65 a square. So we just try and do all the heavy lifting, the hard work. And then it's just up to the builder to go in and spend 15 minutes to 25 minutes tweaking the sheet versus 1 to 2 days building out the whole job. So that's kind of our process, you know.
When I send you a set of plans, the boys get a set of plans and they do all their documentation and takeoffs and that sort of stuff. And then off the back end of that, they provide obviously specific rates for specific areas. You might have a number count of bricks with some extra over or whatever it might be. And then you get back a spreadsheet or detailed breakdown of sort of what's going on site. Because that's one thing I find significant in the industry is especially different areas of construction. You can have the low end residential, a guy's on 35 an hour, and you can have say $40 an hour chippy, and then you can have some high end and they're on 75, 80 bucks. I've even heard of some chippies like subbing in at $100 an hour, right? So you've got this big discrepancy, and over hundreds of hours, that's tens of thousands of dollars. So the worst thing you want to do is, like, obviously engage you guys, come back with this over exaggerated price based on just average rates. From what I understand about the platform itself is that when you sign up and you go through the process, it's not just a one-off. Here's the budget. Fuck off. It's like, here's the budget. This is what we're working with. All right, now let's work together and nail down what we're going to do and sort of build a profile around that builder specifically and sort of the rates that he operates at with specific trades. So then the next time you go through, you'll get a much more accurate, accurate estimate itself.
I know where you're going.
What that's going to do is, you might not initially get the right answers on the first time round. But as you tweak and work with you guys, it gets nailed. So then 10 jobs down the road, it's just like,
bang on, bro.
Fucking guys.
It's like the more the builder gives us, the more we can give you. Like if you give me stuff all in an A4 bit of paper, don't expect it to be probably more than 70% close. But the builder who's been using us for 3 years and we do 5 jobs every 6 months and he gives us heaps of time and we do, Zoom meetings, discussing it, calls, we get updated rates from his subbies. He can pretty much send that out as a fixed price tender. So the more times we do working with guys, we build up like an internal database of, a builder who we do, like Gus, for example, in Christchurch. I've got his 50 to 60 jobs all in one spreadsheet. And in the main tab, I've got all his plumbing rates updated, his painting rates updated, everything. So me and him both know exactly what he's charging on every job. And he goes through and back costs and he'll highlight line items in red where he lost money, items in green where he made more money. And then I can go back to those and be like, oh shit, fuck, what did he do on that last retaining wall? I think I was under, go back to that, use that as a reference, move it forward for the next retaining wall. And I know that he lost hours on set out, but he made fucking heaps on finishings. So I can level and tweak it out. So
which is the important part because you don't want to go into a job estimate with an overinflated cost.
Yeah.
Because one, you just don't get the job.
Yeah. And we need to talk about that on another phone call. So yeah.
Yeah. But like, and that's the thing, is like, as long as there's the idea that you guys actually do collaborate with the builders or contractors, maybe they're doing some big renovation works.
Yeah.
That's the fucking key.
Yeah.
It's not just like, here's a service.
Yeah.
Pay us money and we'll give you some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a service. We work together as a team.
Yeah.
Let's fucking make some money together. Do it good. Crack on.
My biggest thing, man, is like Google reviews. Like, I'm just like, if I say to anyone, it's like, if you're not willing to do like a Zoom call at 7:30 p.m. or a.m. with a builder that's stressed out about a report, like you do not work here. Like, there's no 44 hours here. It's just I expect kind of within reason, obviously, like everyone, if people don't want to work here, they don't have to. But I'm just like, I've been in the trenches on the tools running a building business, and that's why I've shaved my head and it looks clean. But it's stressful, man. It is so stressful. It's the most stressful business.
Yeah.
So I want to be like a real, just like a real good sounding board for builders, man, and sanity checkers. So yeah,
well,
for sure.
I was lucky when I've kept my hair. It just went grey.
Yeah, you're right.
I just do commercial construction and having kids and running businesses and being a dickhead. Anyway, with cost estimates in construction itself, obviously you've done fucking thousands of them.
Yeah.
What's the biggest struggle you see people have? Like, what are the biggest mistakes that they make? Like, what are common things that they just always seem to get wrong?
Bro, two things straight off the bat: not charging for vehicle charges and project management fees, PM fees. Yep. Like, we had the discussion with Sean yesterday in Tassie on that $2.5 million build, and just splitting out carpentry on the tools versus project management.
Yep.
So a prime example was setting out his box corner detail for like vertical shiplap cladding, just setting out the detail on the box corners and making sure that over the length of 25 meters that they all lined up by the time he got to the box corner detail. He spent a day and a half just sorting that out. And like, that's not, I don't think that's on the tools sorting stuff out, because he was having to ping out lines, work out markings, and figure out how this detail is going to look.
Yep.
And he had to go back to the architect, sort some stuff out, take some screenshots, put up some pin board profiles, send it to the client, make sure she was happy. That's project management.
I agree.
Pricing, 100%. Re-going through sub-trade quotes, checking out tags, inclusions, exclusions, relaying info back to the client, like sorting out the boys, making sure windows are up on time. If there's a 3-day delay, what are the boys doing for 3 days? Are they on site, chilling out, billing time, or are you going to organize another job? Like, PM fees and vehicle charges, those are the two biggest things that people need to charge more. And I didn't know this, man. Like, I was like, where do I charge diesel? Like, I'm paying $100 a week.
Yeah.
4 years ago. Like, where do I charge this shit out?
I'm actually interested with regards to the estimating itself.
Yeah.
Like, how much involvement do you have with regards to getting like quotes in from subcontractors? So what I mean by that is, like, let's say there's a plumber.
Yeah.
Would the builder send you the plumbing quote?
Yeah.
For you to review and input into the estimating sheet itself?
Yeah. After builders work with us, probably more than 3 or 4 times, they're starting to send us all their subby quotes.
Yep.
Other 50%, I'm like, hey boys, if we're pricing a job out the middle of butt fucking Bundy and we need a plumbing, ring up a couple of local plumbers.
Yep.
Ring up, hey, what's your guys' per point rate, maybe a disconnection rate for a bathroom?
Yep.
If we're doing a new build, don't include drainage. What's your point rate to fit off, fix, do everything, first and second fix? One
thing that I found is a big issue for a lot of people, and I've sort of really raised this in another episode I did, was like ensuring the scope is correct. Understand the inclusions, understand the exclusions.
Yeah.
Because when these prices come in, the problem I see a lot is they just, 25 grand for the plumbing, sweet, in it goes. But then they've excluded this or excluded that or haven't allowed for that.
Yeah.
And they may not have just written it down. They just write, one line item.
Yeah.
And you need to get really, really clear on those terms. Now,
yeah,
it's probably not in regards to estimating. It's more in regards to just
contractual
being
stuff.
a good contract management. Yeah.
That can go on the same angle as the project manager billing his time to look through all of that.
Yeah.
Not just checking the line item on the quote for plumbing for 25 grand and then going back to our estimate and be like, oh, cool, they've allowed 27, we'll make 2.5. What if there's 4 grand of tag outs that he didn't read, So there goes your margin.
Well, that's exactly right. Like, we want to keep the margin.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's for when you fuck up.
Yeah, exactly right.
To get the Ferraris.
Yeah. One day. Yeah.
So we'll get there. I'm thinking of McLaren though, but that's all right.
Yeah, nice, bro.
So here in Australia, we're having shortages of labour shortages.
Yeah, man.
Now, does that actually sort of play a big impact with regards to the cost estimates that you do, or are you still in regards to the probably average rates that you're working at, or are you just still having that relationship with the builders and saying, right, this is sort of where we're at, or does it impact it or not?
For us, probably not right now. It's probably more we're just talking with the builder and we're like, hey man, they've got this 4-bedroom new build coming up. You know, are you a boy? Is your company at capacity right now? Are you going to run your same team on it, or are you going to split this in with your same team that you've got? And are you going to have to go out and get a labor only crew to come in? Because if there is a labor shortage, we'd probably factor in some higher rates or some higher margins. Because labor only building crews, I don't know if it's as bad as what it was in Auckland 4 years ago, man. Guys with no experience, well, fuck all, could walk on and charge $75 an hour, and now they're back down to 50. So it's like, you got to be so careful. I think definitely, man, if there's not like a lot of talking once they get the report between us and the builder and they just send that estimate out, it could be hell to pay.
Obviously, you're a technology business that builds technology to a degree.
Yep.
With the ongoing incoming stream of us getting flooded with AI and all that sort of stuff. Is there anything like that integrated with RapidQS? Is that something you're going to look into in the future?
100%, man. Absolutely, man. I'll openly say it now. RapidQS will not be a physical labor pricing business in 5 years.
I think that's good.
Easy. I'd maybe even say less. I reckon there's apps out there that are ready to be released now. They'll probably wait maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. But I think there'll be so much stuff flooded on the market in 3 years. I think it'll take common sense, relatable builders 2 years to trust it. So I think we're probably good for another 24 to 36 months. We're going to start working on like a app style business now, because I believe what we have that no one else has is we've got like a trusted audience. So I think we're well ahead of the pack in regards to if and when we do release an app, I think we'll be at the top of the pecking order because we have a trusted audience, and you know, we haven't done anything dodgy or no one said, fuck, I've gone under because of you. Fingers crossed. Touch wood. But yeah, I personally now, one thing I've used to save 20 minutes worth of time is renos and extensions. I hate sifting through 30 pages of plans looking for the thickness of the slab, details of fixings, wall linings, insulation specs. So I've got like preloaded 15 questions. I just attach the plans to like my chat GPT and I just say spit out the answers, and then I copy and paste that onto my working sheet. And then when I come to those items, I don't have to scroll through plans anymore. So, and for example, if I'm at a bathroom and I'm trying to work out my tiling, I just quickly go to chat GPT like, hey, what was the spec and meterage of tiles going into the bathroom? And then it will go porcelain tiles, 6x6, bang, 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 copy, paste, put that in. Now you've still got to do the work, but it's saving time.
Yeah, and that's what's really good about it. And like based just on personal experience of what we're building at the moment, I'm gone from a builder now to learning a fucking shitload, mate, about this whole software development industry.
It's wild.
And I must admit, it's fucking sweet.
Yeah.
It's literally like the only way I could communicate between me and my business partner, Daniel, is like he would explain something to me and then I'd have to put into like building terminology. I'm like, oh, so like architecture. Oh, yeah, cool. And then there's like the back end. Oh, it's just like, you know, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And like now with all this AI stuff, we've built some cool models and stuff out. And like what I see is what I could see implementing perfectly with exactly what you've got is training a model where you can just feed the documentation in it. The model's already going to pull out all the information that it needs because it's been trained on 2,000 individual ones. It's streamlined. And then on the back end of that, you can go, right, based on all the previous estimates that run through this specific like contact client. You can work out basic rates from that. So ideally it gets to a certain situation where, you know, I might bring the cost level down for someone to, obviously you've got to build the whole model. Which is
for sure.
Pain in the ass, but like, and you know, the builder can just upload the documentation and then spits out a fucking roughy estimate. So they can just send it through, come back, call the client the next day, say, your reno is going to be, it's going to be between sort of 200, 350. Which is sort of the conversation you have with the client to sort of step into the door, because obviously there's a lot of, once you nail down on the price, it's because there's a lot of effort and work associated with putting the estimate together. But if you can just be that, at least proactive in that regards, from a system that I think you guys could build, and I'm sure you will.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we have to.
Because it just simplifies the process. It makes it so much easier. And then it makes your product better because you've got so much volume and trusted clients. Everyone can just win.
Two parts to what you've said. First thing I want to say, anyone that's like on the tools now, getting into on the tools, should really just delete all your social media. Don't look at the fancy AI world and stay on the tools, because I believe their rates are going to go through the roof.
I agree.
In the next 5 to 10 years, man. Like, they are going to go through the roof. And I think Aussie's having a massive shortage of guys coming in and not being trained. If you're a young university guy or whatever, man, don't look at what all your fancy friends are doing and all the digital nomad shit. Like, builders and carpenters will be making like lawyer doctor money in 5 years.
we're lucky enough that we've built this skill set that it's a hands-on approach.
Yeah.
When the robots come and sort it out for us, which they will at some stage.
At some stage.
At the start, they can just mow me lawns.
Yeah.
Cool. Or wash the outside of my house.
Yeah.
Or make cocktails at behind my bar.
Yeah.
But when it's problem solving and actually figuring out issues, that's the skill set that we build. Yeah. And like the one thing we have lacking here is like apprentice retention.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of apprentices, they sort of get onto the work site, the job site, they get into the trade itself, and then they sort of back off a little bit because of whatever reason they're sort of feeling. Usually there's a couple of things. One is definitely the social media one in regards to like, I earn $17 an hour, but I could be earning fucking $45 an hour selling some shit on the internet.
Bullshit course.
And we're just like, it's hilarious. You read the comments, all the traders is like, shut the fuck up, man. Yeah. Like you've been in for 2 years. Like you don't even know anything, which is completely fair and reasonable. But if you stick to it and build those 6 skills out, you will have so much worth in the future because everything's been trending the other way.
I know, man.
And all the oldies, which are all these old builders, they're old chippies, like they fucking hate their jobs now anyway. They're wrecked. So they're slowly going to decline. And it's just going to be this pocket of high-skilled tradesmen that are hard to come by.
Yeah.
And the more regulation that we're going to put on trades, which I do see in Australia happening.
Yeah.
So we have like registered trades, registered electricians and plumbers. What they've been talking about for years now, I think the VBA here in Victoria are probably going to push it soon, is have registered registered carpenters and registered bricklayers.
Yeah.
So there's sort of something, because as a carpenter now, I can build all the structural walls in a home. There's no like sign off.
Yeah.
I just build the shit and leave, you know what I mean? So if there's an issue, it's like, well, fuck, I don't, it's not my problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I completely agree with you, man. Like I think that's a very important thing, and it should be promoted to help build the industry up.
Yeah.
Like being a trade's fucking sick, man.
and anyone looking to invest into stuff, man, investing into service-based businesses now would be like, it's a Bitcoin play right there, man.
Yeah,
like, probably not the growth of Bitcoin, but it's crazy. Like if you just invested in a little handyman business and you just started doing fixing rotten floorboards and windows and you just had a team of 2 in bands, you'll be making so much money. And business owners and guys on the tools should just stick at it because it's going to make so much money.
Exactly right. And all the shit tasks that we fucking hate.
Yeah.
All the admin related things. What happens now is all this AI is doing it for us automatically.
Yeah, man.
And it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So there's less admin, more on the tools.
Yeah.
Which is great. Or if you've got to do the admin side of it, you got all these extra tools that makes it a piece of piss.
Absolutely, man.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And like my personal opinion is, and I've seen this in a couple of times just going to job sites where like the most easiest maintenance task that could be undertaken, people don't have the skill sets.
I know.
In the last 30 years, they'll give a fuck or been taught anything.
Yeah.
They don't know how to change a tire or fucking change a door handle. Just very basic, easy things you can figure out.
Yeah.
They just don't have the skills to do it. So now they have to pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
You could be that person. You could change a door handle for fucking $70 an hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you got a minimum call out because you're not free. So like you can have this very basic skills and make money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely, man. I'm like heavily investing in my twin brother's plumbing and gas fitting company. And I'm just like, bro, I'm taking this thing to the ceiling, Because like just on the side while he does most of it. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's minimum 150 call out. Like the addition doesn't go on unless it's 150, like paid up front via credit card.
That's exactly right.
That's crazy, isn't it? For a plumber.
It's like, fucking ridiculous.
That's doctor accountant rates right there. And right now, that will double in 5 to 10 years.
100%. And there's, especially with the AI sort of stuff, like generating like legal documentation, things like that.
Oh, bro.
So like at the moment, we're just doing a legal audit on Oz property report, just getting everything sort of tied up, making sure we're all hunky-dory.
Yeah, nice.
And unfortunately, the guy that we engaged, they're a fucking sick company.
Yeah.
The guy we engaged, he got promoted to like a senior associate level. So his rate's, only $650 now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To read an email and send some stuff back.
Yeah.
Where my old man had a bit of an issue with it. All he needed was a letter to write to a specific person in regards to an issue.
Yeah.
Somewhat in legal
legal term, legal wording.
Exactly right. And I think the quote was like $3,000 to get that written up by a lawyer, and he did it for ChatGPT, and it was actually a pretty fucking reasonable response.
Boom.
You know what I mean? And then obviously after that, if it progresses further, well then
you might need a lawyer.
That's when you engage a lawyer.
But you just save your $3,000 up front.
100%.
It's outrageous. Yeah, man. I'm using it to write up like draft invoices. Use it to like summarize an email. If I get if you got a niggly email from a client around some negativity, hey, summarize this in, please just show some compassion, offer a blah, 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 word it the right way. And it saves so much time, man.
Sweet. So RapidQS,
Yep.
kicking ass. It's getting out there. You're dragging it over to Australia.
Yep.
Right? You're going to feed into all our subcontractors and builders.
Absolutely. Yep.
How's the future looking for it, mate?
Good, bro. Right now we're just in like heavy reinvestment year. So heavy reinvestment into podcasts and advertising, and then the AI stuff. So that's the play this year.
Perfect.
Try and get the profit levels to as zero as possible. Spend as much money, get on the ground, meet guys, and just like, I just can't see anyone else in our space leaving the office promoting on social media. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be as close to the builder on site as possible.
That's a good thing to know, because as a builder, we don't want outsourced people things that don't actually give a fuck about the industry. It seems, based on obviously meeting yourself, David, is that you went through the shit.
Yeah, man.
You've gone through it. You understand it.
Yeah.
You understand our situation. You want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
You want to help out.
Yeah.
Have some sort of impact.
Yeah.
Improve the builders' lives. Improves your life.
Absolutely.
Their lives. Everyone wins.
Yeah.
And I fucking love that, mate.
I just filmed a little reel guy that I went to school with. We tended a labor only for him 2 years ago. He just sent me an email and said, bro, your price report just got me my first 500K reno. And he was like, I can't fucking believe it. Because he was turning over like 250 grand a year like 2 years ago.
Sick.
Now he's just doubled his income off one job.
Titties.
I'm like, fuck yeah. He just reinvested 2.5K into us. And now he's going to make turnover 500. If he does it well, he'll probably make 40 or 50 grand in 6 months. I'm like, fuck yeah. It's so mean.
That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, awesome. We'll do this again, bro. I'm sorry to cut you short.
That's all right. No worries.
On
All,
a tight
man.
schedule.
Well, thanks for coming in. Appreciate your time.
Look forward to it. I could do an hour on AI and all that shit with you, and I would love to do that.
Yeah, I know a lot of I think we would fucking talk a lot of shit. There'd be beers involved, but I'm 75 hard, so I'm not drinking at the moment.
Keen as, man. Good, bro.
Thanks,
awesome.
man.
Thank you, bro.